All right, so walk me through how did you get into door-to-door sales? I know you've got your own solar company,
Yeah.
but like you obviously started working for somebody first. So how did you get into door-to-door? I'm
BYUI.
always
I
intrigued.
was back at BYUI,
Up in Rexburg.
up in Rexburg. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rexburg's interesting because when I worked for Pinnacle and then Apex Vivint, we'd always go up there to recruit.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cold in the winter. Which semesters did you go to school? Because I know they
I
have
was
different-
there fall and spring, actually.
Okay,
Or
so
wait, hold on. No. Sorry, I was winter, spring.
Oh, winter, spring.
Winter,
so it's
spring.
nice and freezing cold.
Yeah.
So did you go to a recruiting meeting? Like what happened?
Yeah. So I had buddies that were doing pest control, guys in alarms,
Okay.
guys in solar.
Yeah.
And I'd already served a mission.
Okay.
And so I knew I was good at talking to people, but more importantly, I knew I was going to have good work ethic.
Okay.
And so I wanted to, have an uncapped earning potential.
Okay. So you got home off your mission. How long were you home for?
A couple months.
A couple months. Okay. So you're right into it. You probably had heard about this before you probably even left your
Mhm.
mission. Door to door. What year was this?
This was back in 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go to a recruiting meeting by what company?
So it was originally a solar company
Okay.
that got me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a solar company was there. Did they just hire everybody? I know when I got recruited for alarms,
was-
there's a couple hundred people in the room. They just hired everybody.
It was close to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Close to it. Yeah.
Because straight commission, right? So
Uh-huh.
if you don't
Yeah.
sell, no skin
loss
off
for
our
them.
backs, no
Yeah.
loss for them. Okay, so you get hired, and was it a summer program for solar, or what
So
did you guys
that
do?
for me was actually in the fall because I had my
Okay.
fall was the off season for me.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
So I went
Okay.
out to California for
Okay.
3.5 months during
Okay.
the fall season.
Like what, September, October, November?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah,
Mhm.
back in my day, it was just summer programs. So I think with Rexburg. Okay, so you get hired.
Yeah.
You don't have any sales experience, I'm
Mhm.
assuming. besides
Nothing.
Your mission.
Yep.
You go out there, and what city did you knock in?
I was knocking in a little town called Little Valley, California.
Good Lord, where's that at?
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Sometimes little towns are the best because
Dude.
they're not as approached as much as like the bigger cities. Yeah, it just depends on the demographic and stuff.
So Jeremy, I started doing well in that little town, and
Yeah.
the company like so well that the company sold me on the fact that it wasn't me that was going to be, it was just the area.
Just the
They're
area.
like, dude, Nick picked the best hood
Yeah,
ever.
That-
They're like,
you know,
dude, you picked the honey pot.
it's interesting. Okay, so in solar's a big industry we train.
Yeah.
But like I know when I sold alarms, we'd always call it the hood. It didn't matter if it was like the Kardashians neighborhood compared to like the ghetto. We would just call it the hood.
Yeah.
So it was always you rank the hood. So they just said, hey, this town is like the best hood. How many people were in the team there? Were you selling with?
We had about 15.
Okay, 15. And
Mhm.
how did you figure this out? Like you just magically sold more than everybody else. There's obviously something you're doing differently,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So for me at that time, I didn't have a lot of, solar knowledge.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a ton of, I had decent product knowledge,
Okay.
but what I did have a really good skill set on was talking to people and
Okay.
working with people, not just communicating and being having the gift of gab is what they say,
Yeah.
but actually understanding, empathizing,
Okay.
helping people get what they want.
So you understood the emotional connection.
Yes, very well.
That's what that is. Because building rapport is not really emotionally connecting because there's fake rapport. How's
Yes.
your day going?
Yes.
Do you like the city? Like people
I had
know what
real
you're
rapport
doing.
with people. I know how to do
Real
that.
rapport.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the backbone because I didn't
Yeah.
know quite how to sell like at a high level like I do now.
Yeah.
Where now I don't have to like leverage 30 minutes or an hour of rapport building to
Yeah.
get a deal closed and have a very high retention.
Yeah.
I can like get right to it with
Yeah.
almost no rapport.
Yeah. Okay. It's the emotional connection. Like I said, Tony Robbins always talks about it. I like to take a step further, but you understand this. In order to influence at the highest level, you have to master how to emotionally connect with that other human being. Where
Correct.
you go there first, where they feel like you understand their needs, their desires, their wants, even their fears, without buying into their story.
Yep.
And without judging them. Because if they feel like you're judging them, you're going to trigger sales
Yeah,
resistance.
it's
But that's
gone.
empathy.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Okay. I like that. Most people like, they don't, where did you learn how to understand empathy? Because most people, you're not born with that.
Yeah, no, I think doing the mission in Brazil really taught me that.
Okay.
And I remember hearing, going on my mission, like right before I left, I had heard a talk that at the time that was saying, telling the most successful missionary ever in Europe. Okay.
Yeah.
Long story short, this missionary baptized tons of people in
Okay.
a place that nobody ever gets baptized.
Yeah.
And they interviewed him, asked him what was the secret to success. And he said, no matter who opened that door when I knocked on someone's door, if they're smoking a cigarette, if they're drinking beer, he would imagine them in a white robe, seeing them as a changed man. In other words, seeing them as they can become.
Interesting.
And that stuck with me. And so I learned to empathize with people, not look at them in their current situation, but look at them on the other side.
You weren't judging them.
Exactly.
You were
feeling love,
seeing what they could be.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Potential. I love that. That's amazing.
So I brought that same thing to solar, saying, hey, like when people were negative and pessimistic about it, I didn't see them in that current state. I saw them on the other side once they knew what I knew. Okay, that makes sense, because let's dive into that. So, the traditional door approach is, hi, my name is, or like, hey, I'm in the neighborhood with XYZ company. How you doing today? Are you the homeowner? Yeah.
I'm assuming you started to recognize that the traditional door approach doesn't really work that well unless you're willing to play the numbers game and just, kill yourself 14 hours a day to hardly make any sales.
Yeah.
How did you change that up?
Being different. Being different is the key. And so what I say here, like whatever the approach is now, if everybody adopted it widely in your given area, you have to change it.
Yeah.
And so the game is becoming different. The greatest salespeople I've noticed aren't just the greatest at persuading, they're the greatest at being different.
Yeah.
Because if you are not perceived as a salesperson, you don't have to really feel like you're selling.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's a different mindset.
So approaching them in a sense of, if, for anyone watching my Instagrams, have you seen this net metering application? Like, as dorky and as silly as that is, it works. Yeah. It works. They're like, no, well, like, what's this? Right.
Yeah.
And then it gives me a segue to buy me 7 seconds. The next 7 seconds I used to buy
so when
20.
you knocked on the door, what was the first words out of your mouth? Like, and everybody watching this. So whether you sell door to door, whether you sell inbound, outbound, cold calling, doesn't matter. The principles he's going to talk about here are going to help you close more deals. Even if you're the business owner with your salespeople, this is important.
First thing I say is actually, I only have a minute.
Tell us why you do that.
Because most salespeople are basically letting the prospect push them around.
Yes.
And they're tailoring their schedule, and it seems desperate. That energy is desperate. And when you exude, hey, I'm good, I don't need this.
Yeah.
People actually listen to you more. And so
you lower their guard.
Exactly.
We call it selling the exit. You're always selling the exit. So especially when you're cold calling or door to door, it just buys you more time because the prospect doesn't feel like you're going to take a lot of their time. Yeah. And then you get them emotionally involved and they forget about that. Oh gosh, I apologize. I've only got a few minutes before my next appointment, or I'm so sorry. I've only got a minute before I've got to go.
Yep.
And now they don't feel like you're going to be able to sell them. So the guard, it's a disarming technique.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll do a similar thing even in the appointments. I'll say, hey, kick me out anytime. Like, we had another guy record me. He's like, bro, you literally said that 8 times in the pitch. Yeah. And so giving them the, saying, hey, you can kick me out, I'm good.
Yeah.
The next thing I go into on the door approach is, I'm sure you guys have seen this, or have you guys done this application yet?
And they're like, well, what application?
Yes. 9 times out of 10, they're saying, what application, right?
Yeah. And so you triggered curiosity.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then from there, I'm saying it's an application to help. I'm keeping it vague and simple. I don't say electric.
Yeah.
I don't say electric bill. I don't say
those would be like trigger words.
They're trigger words. Exactly.
Because they've already noticed solar.
Yeah. So I say, hey, this is an application to help potentially reduce utility costs.
Yeah.
And then I'll lead in with, how you have dominion for gas.
You said a word there, potentially reduce cost, not to reduce cost.
Yeah.
Potentially is a neutral word. Why?
I'll say that sometimes I don't, to be honest, but
it's good.
It's a qualifying thing.
Yeah.
It's a qualifying thing saying, hey, look, it's the potentially means, hey, I don't know if this is going to be a fit based on the checklist here.
Just to see if you're eligible.
Exactly. Yes.
Instead of qualify.
Not qualify, eligible.
Yeah.
No.
Even qualify is good, but sometimes, as you know, some salespeople start to overuse that, and then prospects pick up on it. Like you might not be eligible. It just depends, or potentially we could, possibly we could, but it's more neutral. Keeps the guard down. These are all disarming techniques. This is really good. And so, what's the next words out of your mouth?
So saying, hey, if you guys done this application to qualify, it helps reduce utility costs. I'm sure you know how you got Dominion for gas and Rocky Mountain Power for the electric. Okay, I start with that because same principle. Yeah. I'm trying to get them on the general idea of there's a human here that has a way to reduce my utility cost, how much I throw out the door, and basically hedge inflation.
Okay.
and there's specific things he's looking for that they're out here to qualify. He's just vetting out homes. I'm trying to create this image that, hey, look, I love you. I don't even know you. I care about you, but I don't give two shits if you do this or not.
Yeah. I call it HILA. It's high intent. You have high intent to help because you can solve their problems, but you have low attachment.
Yeah.
HILA. High intent.
I love that.
Low attachment.
Yes. That's beautiful.
It doesn't have any impact on you if they keep, if they keep paying the rate hikes. It only impacts who? Them. But you have high intent to help, but low attachment.
Low attachment. Yeah. If you kick me out the door, it's okay. I got plenty of other people that are going to.
Yeah. It has no impact on me. It only has impact on who. Yeah. That's really good, Nick. Okay. There's a lot more to that. We're going to unpack that in a second. There's a lot of pattern interrupts there because what he's doing there is he's not like everybody else. And the way, if somebody like throws him off, the way I used to do it, like if let's say I get into it and, just didn't work out and I'm off to the door. I'm like, oh, sorry, I couldn't help. I literally would say that to everybody. Oh, sorry, I couldn't help you. And I would walk off because in my mind, selling is not something I'm doing to them. Selling something I'm doing for them. So if I can, so if they didn't buy, I'm like, oh, sorry, I couldn't help. And I would just go to the next door.
Massive.
But if you get in the mindset of like, oh, this person, is mean to me and like everybody's bad, what does that do to a salesperson?
Dude, it kills the mindset, kills the momentum, kills the energy. And everything we do is energy. And you've got to maintain that. And so I'll constantly say similar things in between prospecting. I think it's not my loss, it's theirs. And in my biggest months where I was making $200,000 a month, I was vigilant about this and I had that conviction. That's why I wear the sold shirt is I got very sold on what I was doing and understanding the value for the customer. Most salespeople, Jeremy, this, they think how much am I making in commission? Like, oh dude, I got $7,000 on the line. They're getting all nervous, right? Yeah. I'm thinking that's not even on my mind. I'm thinking, hey, this guy's net worth, this family's net worth is going to change by potentially $70,000 over time if this goes through. Yeah. And I'm taking zero from their pocket, taking money they have to throw away and reallocating it towards something.
Yeah, you're legitimately solving problems.
Yes.
And when you solve problems like that, you get paid a lot of money for it, which you should.
Yes. Yeah. Now, and then that helps me detach, but also connect and empathize and say, this is not about my loss, it's about theirs. Yeah. And not in like a condoning or condescending way, like you idiot. Like, it's like, dude, I feel sorrow for you. That was another thing I learned in my mission was preach my gospel. It's like, feel remorse for people that don't change.
It's the empathy, right? Yeah. And a lot of guys, that's something you have to train them. Like women already have like empathy built into their DNA. So it's easier to train on that. With guys, sometimes it's like, sometimes guys comes across judgmental. Like they have to feel like you're concerned about the consequences if they don't buy, if they don't change. That's different than like where you get them like defensive because you're like, well, why wouldn't you do this? You're going to save all this money. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. Then a lot of times, even if it is a no-brainer, they literally will push back and say no because they're getting defensive based on your tone.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
It's a big difference here. You got to get them to feel like you're concerned about the consequences. Okay. So how many years did you sell door to door before you're like, hey, I think I'm going to start my own thing?
So I did 2 years solar and then 2 years in pest.
Okay. Why did you switch from solar to pest?
I was getting underpaid. I was naive. They bought me a brand new Lexus. In those 3.5 months, I should have made $350,000. Okay. I got paid about $65,000 because as a young 22-year-old kid, I was like,
you just didn't know.
I thought I was getting paid well.
Okay.
I'm like,
dude, for a college kid for 3.5 months, that's
$65K.
Really
I was like, brand new Lexus. I'm like, dude, these guys love me. My mom's like, honey, never leave that company.
You take that job. Okay.
Yeah. And then I heard about what guys were making in pest, but I should have been making the same thing in solar.
Okay. Well, it's good that you got different experience in different things. It helps you kind of see from some different viewpoints. Yeah. So then you sold pest control for a couple of years.
2 years, had a team, blew that up, and then started my own pest control company due to a lack of conviction. I wanted two things. I wanted ownership, not to be the man, but just to have a higher leverage vehicle, right, of building wealth. Yeah. And then, but also to control client experience because I was lacking the conviction as the curtains got pulled down on that particular company I worked for. Okay. So
they didn't have the great, you were selling it, but they weren't fulfilling it.
The fulfillment was not good.
And sometimes that happens.
And I saw what the guys were doing, like who was fulfilling the jobs. I was like, I can't, I'm lying to myself. Yeah. And so as I was selling that, Jeremy, I'm like, I'm selling my soul. Yeah. And I felt the conviction in it that eats at you. Yeah. And so that's a big thing I'm a big proponent of is, the product, it's the pest control. There's all these products that are great. Yeah. But I do believe that we sell to the degree that we are sold.
I agree. You have to have conviction. You have to know that, look, you're watching, listen to us. You have to know that the product or service you're selling is actually going to do what you guys say it's going to do. And if it does, you have that conviction. But if you find out that it's not really being fulfilled the way it's being presented and stuff, then eventually, morally it eats on you.
It does.
Yeah.
What's sad is some people, especially in the door-to-door industry, get the golden handcuffs locked in.
Yeah.
Even when they know it's like, this isn't the best.
Yeah, no, it's true. I remember the owners of the first company I worked for, like, they would tell us, like, you can never leave door to door. You can never make as much money as in door to door. And I'm like, I think once you master selling, you can go sell anything.
Anyway, yeah.
I went right into B2B the next year and like tripled what I made in door to door.
So let's go.
It's the sales skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you started your own solar company. First year, you did 35 million. That's impressive for first year. What did you put in place that separated you from, let's say, another company, solar company, in their first year? Because those numbers, most companies don't hit their first year. Like, what did you do differently than other starters?
So with running Sparta this last year, there's a lot of different things. Focusing on results summarizes a lot, and we can go into the weeds with a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's been results personally and professionally. So professional are obvious, is making people money, right?
Okay.
And that we break that down into three main focuses: speed of sale, speed of install, and then speed of pay.
Interesting.
And so basically I've shifted my whole focus. Tony Robbins taught this to me of just help people get what they want.
Yeah.
If you help people get what they want, you're going to be rich.
Let's talk about speed of sales.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about
that. So from onboard to point of first sale, decreasing that time.
Okay.
And so most business owners don't even know, like, what's the average time length for
what is the
reps.
average time? Yeah.
For most companies, it's about 2.5 weeks.
Okay. From
solar.
Oh, you're talking about the install, like once it's sold to install, or
no, just like first sale, from like a time of like average rep onboarded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like onboarding a new rep?
Yes.
Oh,
now we've got it down closer to about four days.
Okay, as far as like getting them onboarded, getting them trained.
Some we have a first day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So just speed of them getting them started.
Yes.
How did you learn how to like really do that well?
Like how to speed that up.
Yeah. Like what systems did you put in place?
Just a lot of failure.
Okay.
So we have 210 training videos that I've built into a course. We took the course and just took it all in house basically.
Okay.
And so, that plus the training manual, and then I have like SOPs around like everything.
So it's organized.
It's very organized.
Everybody knows what to do right when there's not like, what do I do next? I'm not sure. Okay.
It's complete hand holding.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That takes a lot of time. Okay. Now speed of install. I know that's a big thing in your industry for sure.
So we're a dealer. So in solar, you have installers and you have dealers. Yeah. I'm proudly a dealer in this current state. 4 years, it'll be different from now. Right. And so we work with a partner, and so we're all the sales and fulfillment. So nobody in my position, Jeremy, has a COO. Okay. They don't do it. Okay. Because you don't need it, especially when you work with a really good installer, because they're doing all the fulfillment for you. Right. And in fact, my partner at the time, the install partner, the CEO there, he's like, Nick, why do you pay this guy, that CEO? You don't need him. Yeah. You're wasting money. I'm like, no, I'm not. Yeah. It allows me to move faster and get jobs done better and communicate better. Yeah, because
what's the average time of an install in the solar industry?
Solar industry, it varies, Jeremy, but you like anywhere from like 1 day to,
it's
3 months.
It's 4 to 8 weeks, isn't it?
4 to 8 weeks is pretty typical. I'd say like 4 to 6 is pretty 4
average. 4 to 6 weeks is average, right? And in that time, they might decide to go a different route, or they cancel whatever. Especially if the salesperson doesn't know how to button that down, close them down. What have you learned how to get the install down, speed of install down to?
So what number wise have we got down to? Yeah, 2 to 6 weeks, depending on the city.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Especially
and so
2 to 3 weeks. That's money.
So there's a city limit, and after the city limit, we're like 5 days after that.
Oh, wow. That's quick. And speed of pay. What do you do with that?
Almost same day. Like
same day, really?
Yeah. 4 days after point of sale M1s. And not only do we do, so we have not just like after install, we have come up and I've started playing the bank. Yeah, where I'm like advancing more money, because the game is just get these kids what they want, right? Just help them. And so I used to be like, hey, bro, we'll pay you when glass on the roof, And now we're paying out. This is common in the industry. You pay out on M1 advance, but we're advancing even more now.
So you're paying like right when they sell it, or maybe a week before it gets installed?
No, right when they sell it. Right when they sell.
Really?
Yeah, get cash in their pockets fast.
A portion of it. And if it doesn't get installed, then it might come out of another commission of an install or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then after it's installed, within a few days. Now, with how we're growing, we're at 60 plus people right now. Okay. We're having to move from like paying out every day to like twice a week.
Okay. It's still pretty good though. That's good. And how does that help motivate your sales team and like keep them hungry?
It's that you want to get rewarded for what you've put in, you know? And so it's that decreasing that gratification of like make a sale, do something good, and then see the return.
Yeah.
That's big. And so that requires business owners to just be good with their capital.
Yeah.
And so like I'm investing less in real estate in this current state right now that I'm in and pouring more into just human capital. Right.
Okay. Yeah. You pour it into, you know, training yourself, training your team, you're going to get way more. It's been a while since I've been in door to door. I think 2005 was my last year in door to door. 2000 to 2005, kind of crazy.
About 20
What
years.
are some, I know what crazy. What are some things that have changed even since you've been in it? Like what are some things that are changing in your industry? It could be solar, alarms, anything. But what's changing?
Well, ring doorbells for one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Didn't have that when I knocked on the doors.
You get less people answering. And people they've seen all the different sales pitches. And so with my content team, we were literally just having fun the other day, walking with a big old no soliciting board. My shirt says sold on it. I look like a goober. I got a thing on my nose. And I'm just like, hey, do you want to buy solar?
Yeah.
You know, just something stupid.
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
Yeah.
But it just almost breaking the ice with that way. It almost got a conversation going a little easier.
Yeah.
That's not the best pitch, by the way.
It's a pattern interrupt. Yeah. But yeah, you wouldn't do that.
No,
I
I wouldn't do that. Yeah. Like going for high volume.
Yeah.
Correct. But people are craving authenticity. And I think as AI grows and becomes more prevalent, like the advantage that we have being human is our authenticity.
Sure.
And it's that connection. And so
what are your thoughts about AI? Do you believe AI is going to replace salespeople? Like, what are your thoughts about AI generally?
I think for brands that have, companies that have brands that are strong enough, I think it will absolutely. But
replace all sales in those, or just like low ticket, or what do you mean?
Absolutely not. No, like things like, you know, companies like Tesla, companies like, you know, Apple doesn't need salespeople. I'm talking like big companies with massive brands.
Selling itself. Yeah,
exactly.
Order takers.
And that's most of the business world is not going to be that way.
Yeah.
Otherwise it would just be ran by monopolies.
Yeah.
So, salespeople will, I for the next decade, I don't see the jobs going anywhere.
I mean, it's going to replace like low ticket stuff, like $20, $50, things
very
like
low
that.
ticket.
But you know, one thing I think a lot of people forget, and I love AI. Like we're launching our own AI product with the founder of Ancestry.com, Paul Allen, if you know Paul, with his platform. But I think one thing that AI does is, first of all, it's going to create industries that don't exist. So it's like the internet. Like when the internet came out in the early 2000s, like, oh, it's going to replace salespeople. People just order everything on, and all it did is just create more industries that didn't exist. More jobs, more salespeople.
Yeah.
And so I believe AI is going to create industries that we don't even know anything about right now,
Correct.
which will create more salespeople. Because there's a thing called the FTC. And the moment Grandma Jones buys something for 5, 10, 15 grand from AI over the phone or something like that, and then, you know, her son finds out and, you know, my mom got scanned, calls the Attorney General. Well, you're going to have a lot of regulations. And I believe within a few years, maybe even less, that, you know, when there's a call from AI, it's going to say, hey, this is AI. You know, would you like to keep talking with me, or would you rather be transferred to a live representative? And I think that they're going to be regulated to have to say that. And I really believe that a lotot of people eventually will be like, I want to talk with a representative, a live representative, because they're going to feel like AI is going to manipulate them. I'm dead serious. The FTC is going to do this. They're going to regulate it.
I agree.
They'll be forced.
I could see that.
Interesting. What separates a killer from like a low producer in sales in your mind? Somebody just kills it, crushes it, compared to the guy or gal that just kind of floats around, dabbles in it.
There's a lot of things, but a couple of things that come to mind are mindset. And for me, mindset and hunger.
Let's talk about mindset.
Yeah.
What mindset does a killer have compared to somebody that's just kind of average?
They have discipline. They have the desire to, their perspective isn't like, oh, this is happening to me, it's happening for me. They're thinking that every no is getting them closer to yes. They're thinking that every failure, they're learning something from it.
Is that something that they can be taught, though? You
Absolutely.
feel like something so you can build them into the identity of the person who has that mindset.
Yes, 100%. And then a big thing I've been realizing and studying, Jeremy, is how self-development and that kind of, and just life, just living life and actually pushing yourself, doing hard things.
Yeah.
I've seen salespeople that have gone through adversity and overcome it, have tend to dominate in sales.
Yeah.
People who are very competitive, and especially with very difficult sports like wrestling, tend to dominate in sales.
That's true. If you have a competitive nature from sports, you're going to be like, okay, I've got to learn how to do this. So you're probably going to develop higher skill level, and you're going to put more time into your skill level. So like you would have done that. Like if you're a wrestler or a basketball player or a baseball player, you realize to like start at that high level and to be able to perform, you had to what? You had to outlearn other people. You had to have like more skills. And so you put more time in developing those skills. That's what I find with salespeople that have that competitiveness, is that they're just willing to learn more than other people.
Yeah.
Than some people who are not competitive. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's go back to the mindset, because you said a few things there. Life happens not to us, but for us. That's something Tony said. I can tell you're getting some quotes from that. Tell us a little bit more about that, because I think that's really important. People need to know that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've realized no matter what situation we're in, I mean, salespeople especially, and this is the beauty of sales, Jeremy, is like we face more rejection than any other industry. And most people would say, well, that's not the beauty, Nick, that's the shit. It's the beauty because you learned to master your mind. And if you can master that, you can master just about anything.
Yeah.
And so the same disciplines you use to overcome one thing in your life, you can use to overcome rejection or failure.
Yeah.
Or, just any adversity you have in the job. And I remember going out slinging and doing 200,000 a month, doing 32 self-gens in solar, and having days I was making 30,000 in a day, thinking no big deal. And then days where I have, 10,000 in cancels, and I think this is nothing, or I'll get tons of rejection for 6 hours straight, which I'm not used to. Yeah. And thinking this isn't hard. Like this is easy compared to the stuff I've been through.
It's just staying in the right mindset. It's like Tom Brady, right? So he has let's say the first half, he goes out and throws 2 picks and he's down by 14. It's how he reacts to that adversity. It's like, hey, like, what did I do wrong? And how am I going to fix that real quick? Or am I just going to soak in failure and just bomb the next half of the game?
What I've learned is you cannot, if you learn, failure doesn't exist. Like if so in that sense, and I've studying Sam Walton and the greatest entrepreneurs, they love failure. Yeah. It's fail often, fail fast, fail forward, right? And so that's the mindset of great salespeople, is they're always learning.
And how do you feel like, I'm a big believer in, successful people learn from their mistakes. Yeah. But the most successful people, like top 1% or higher, they don't learn from their mistakes. They learn from others' mistakes, so they don't make the same mistakes themselves. Yes, exactly. And that's like hiring mentors and coaches to learn from. So you shortcut. Why is it so, like hiring people that have already mastered the thing you want to master? Why is that so important if you want to become really good at what you do?
A great mentor will get you to where they are in half the time.
Yeah, I'd say like in even more.
Even if they have industry specific knowledge, I'd say potentially 3 to 5 times the speed.
Yeah, like 10x. Yeah.
Yeah, and so 3 to 5x was like conservative. Yeah. For me it was 10x. Yeah. And so you're the only thing that is stopping us from executing at a new level is information. Yeah. And so the game becomes, how fast can you get that knowledge? Yeah. And then not be a little bitch and just execute.
Exactly. Because I always say, what's the biggest problem in sales? The problem that you don't know you have. Because if you don't know what your problem is, how are you going to sell? Like, how are you going to break down your door-to-door approach or the back end or whatever you're doing wrong if somebody's not there who's already mastered that can show you exactly? Because otherwise you're just guessing. And maybe you figure it out, maybe you don't. But it could take you years. And look at all the cost of how much commissions you lost because you try to figure it out.
There you go. And this is how you sell sales training, is you sell the opportunity cost if you do nothing, cost of doing nothing.
Yeah. It's the same with anything.
Yeah. That's always been the big thing. And so, if anyone's listening to this that has not invested in themselves with sales training or self-development related things, you've got to like fast forward and realize, okay, let's say you're making $250K a year. Yeah. There is a version of you that is making, $750K or $1 million a year.
Yeah, exactly. And no different than you.
Yes. And that version of you could be there. You could be there within a year.
They just have more knowledge.
Exactly.
We call it the COI, cost of inaction. Cost of inaction is really in every industry, right? Solar. cost of inaction.
Yeah.
How many years are they going to keep being forced to pay the rate hikes? How many, I guess they're just going to keep paying their utilities forever till they die.
Exactly.
Right. Compared to paying it off after 20 or 25 years. So it's the COI, it's the cost of inaction. It's really in every industry for the most part. Yeah. Pretty much. Okay, let's roll into this. So how do you let's talk about recruiting salespeople. Like, what are for everybody out here who recruits, what are some of the top 2 or 3 things that you, besides commitment, that you look for when you're hiring a salespeople that really determines, like, hey, I know this person's going to be good compared to this person, they're not going to be so good?
I look for things that align with our core values, but to give it more specific to the audience, I look for things of discipline.
Okay.
And if I had to take somebody with a good mindset, and I would take somebody with good mindset, good habits over somebody with a good skill, because I have the skill and I can fill that gap.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I can get them to scale very quick. But if I have somebody that is actually talented, but they're entitled, they have ego, they're lazy, they're inconsistent. That's a big one. Consistency.
Yeah.
I have a hard time getting them results.
Do you believe you can build? So, like, in with sales, we talk about, a lot of salespeople like, oh, well, they weren't qualified, and I'm like, well, no. Everybody pretty much, unless you're selling like a $10 million thing to a homeless person, pretty much anybody's qualified.
Yeah.
It's up to you, the salesperson, to build that prospect into the identity of the person who becomes a buyer.
Right.
They don't, only the laydowns are just going to show up and buy. How do you learn the skills to build each prospect into the identity of the person who does buy? Because if you knock on the door, any type of sales, and some of the first words out of their mouth is like, oh, I always do research on these things. I always, I never make a snap decision. That's their identity. So Sigmund Freud would say people do who they believe they are. So if their identity is, I never make decisions on the spot, I always do research, and you keep them in that identity, what objections are you probably going to get at the end?
Yeah.
The same one. Or if they buy, that person's more than likely not going to get installed in your industry, because then they're going to start researching. So how do I take them out of that identity and build them into the identity of the person who makes quick decisions because they're smart?
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Do you believe you can do that with somebody you hire that might have really good skill level, but maybe they don't have commitment? Can you build them into that identity?
You can. What I've learned, this is a principle I follow, where the greatest salespeople aren't trained, they're found. But don't think too far. Jeremy's like, okay. That. Jeremy's like, you just hit my biggest pet peeve.
There's always
to an extent.
It depends on the context. Yeah.
Correct. There's a big asterisk on that. I'll give you that. Big asterisk. For me, a lot of the best prospects are not sold, they're found. Because I've gotten very good at selling, and I've realized, despite how good I am, I'll get in front of the wrong prospect, and I'll use all my things of, asking questions and hedging objections and everything I know, and pattern interrupts, and like it won't go anywhere, right? And so it's just this lesson I've repeatedly learned over and over is, I could. Yeah. But time's the most valuable resource we have.
Sure. Do you want to spend that time with that prospect?
Yes.
It depends. Yeah.
Yes. Now, so for people who are in outbound, this is the beauty of outbound door calls, because you've endless supply. And so you can play the game of pick the prospect. Yeah. Which I train my people to play. That
is true. On an outbound, like if you're dialing like a bunch of outbound leads or whatever, and you've got thousands to call, if somebody's like battling you the whole time, there comes to, and once you get really good, you can kind of read the tonality, especially on the phone. You can read the tone, or if in person, you read the body language, even on the doors, and you're like, I don't know if this is worth my time. I'm going to move on to somebody a little bit easier. But it's a fine line, because if you start doing that with everybody, you're going to notice your sales go way down, because then you're like, oh, they're not qualified. Anytime you hear anything, you're like, oh, they're not qualified, I'm looking for the best buyer. Yes. So there's a fine line there.
There is. And that does take time to understand, and how it's trained is by reading people non-verbally and paraverbally, when hearing them. I can sometimes, when I'd approach somebody, I'd just look at them, and I'd know that, like, they'll say one thing and I'll turn around and walk away. And people are like, you're not going to sell them? And it's like, no, because I know I probably could. Yeah. But just doing this in so many times, statistically, based on what I've seen from this personality, that energy, that facial expression, 95% of the time doesn't go anywhere. So I'll go take my time and I'll go roll the dice somewhere else.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. You're playing your cards a little bit. So rather than like, I could sell them, but it might take twice as long, and the likelihood of that getting installed gets cut by 80%. Is it really worth my time, or should I just go to the next door where the likelihood goes up?
Exactly. And remember the power of energy, because when I don't exhaust my energy into those people, I keep the good energy. And so with recruiting, it's the same thing. I used to just like, oh, you got a pulse? Welcome to Sparta.
Welcome to Sparta. You're hired. Yeah.
It's not that way anymore. It is we're very much the opposite.
Okay.
And I'm shooing guys away. I've got guys that have come to me making $1 million a year. I'm like, I'm good, bro. I don't need you.
Yeah.
And so we have our things that we look for, right? And so what happens is when you define your prospect, or whether it's a recruit or a salesperson, okay, you it's the same thing, that you are not catering to them, basically being their little bitch. Is what
you're not qualifying to them. You're getting them to qualify to you.
Exactly. Okay. And so you're wearing the pants, and you can still do this without being like a manipulative jerk, or like, and you can still bring in the love, the empathy, and the care, without being ruthless.
Yeah.
But it's paramount that you stick to these boundaries, because what I've seen with recruiting, what I can do with 5 people can outpace what most can do with 50. And that energy continues to spill over. When you have that good energy from selling, working with good people, you're going to close more, from what I've noticed, because of momentum.
Yeah.
Right. It's the worst thing when we go spend a ton of time and energy onto one prospect, doesn't go anywhere. This happens to the greatest salespeople. Yeah. And so the biggest lesson is like, oh, how can I learn to identify that type of person, that situation again, so I don't waste that time and energy?
What I used to do is, like, let's say I had bad energy, or like, their tonality was like really skeptical or whatever. I would work to break that down. But after, like, I looped back around several times, if it still wasn't breaking that down, I could tell, I'm going to have to spend too much time with this person. It's not worth my time. I'm going to move on.
There you go.
But you can't, like, ask one question and they're like skeptical, like, oh, not worth my time, because then your sales are going to crash.
You're going to be getting rejected by everybody. Yeah. So there's a fine line. The beauty of door to door is that non-verbally, once you get good, you can read people pretty well. But yes, even so, I still give it 2-3 jabs with people. You know,
you got to loop back around at least 2 or 3 times. It's all about the experience. I always say people can steal your ideas, they can steal your content, they can steal your training, whatever. But the one thing they can't steal is the wisdom and the experience of putting all that together, because that's only you.
That's
right. You can't steal that. And that's where it matters. Like, you could try to go out and be Tony Robbins tomorrow. You go to every event, copy everything he says, but you'll never be to that level because you don't have his wisdom or his experience of doing it and putting it together. That's why you'll never be there. 100%. Okay. So anyone chasing that next level in sales or life, what's like a few non-negotiable things that you do in life that really help you keep moving forward rather than settling?
A couple things. Knowing what I'm going for and why I'm going for it.
Okay.
A lot of people, and this comes to influencing people too. A lot of people don't know why they do what they do.
Why do you feel like it is?
They don't stop to think about it and really break it down. And
they just have like a goal and they're like, I want this goal, but then they don't know what's behind it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll talk to a guy in a meeting. I remember one guy we hired that's making $1 million a year with me now. And I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want? And he's like, I just want to make a fuck ton of money,
Why?
I was like, well, why do you want to do that?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I just want a lot of money I want to have a house. I'm like, why is that important to you? I'm like, okay, he's leaning towards status. He's leaning towards status and significance. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. And so as you keep peeling back those layers of the onion, there's 4 core reasons people do stuff. It's for certainty, variety, significance, love, and connection. And so once you understand those and how they operate, you understand how to move them. And I use this to even help people overcome addictions and change within my company outside of sales and progressing professionally. It's the same game. But if you understand for yourself why you want what you want, you have a different fuel behind you, right? Like if you have the company, the vehicle, the training, like even the world-class sales training, we have the rocket ship, right? 7th level is the rocket ship. But if you are trying to get off the ground with that rocket with what you put in your car, it ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. If you don't understand, that's what I always tell salespeople. It's like, look, if you can get a prospect's goals or whatever they want to do, but if you can't help them uncover in their own mind the reason behind that, like what's driving that, that's where the sale's made.
Yes.
It's not the why, it's what's behind the why.
Behind it.
And you have to get them to tell you and themselves what's behind the why, and that's where they emotionally connect.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, there's that connection's not there. That leads to a ton of objections, and a lot of times that's why they don't buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's good. What's another thing? What's another non-negotiable habit you have in your life to help you keep moving forward?
Putting myself first.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
So another hack is time blocking, to make sure that I have time dedicated to 3 things.
Is this something you were born with, or you had to learn along the path of life?
This is pattern and skill.
Yeah.
And it's there's work in the business, selling, work on the business, growing and duplicating yourself through other salespeople is a form, marketing. And then there's working on yourself. Mm-hmm. And what I realized, the beauty of working on yourself is you'll find more fulfillment as you do that. Yeah. You become more attractive as a person in every way. And so as I've seen, like everything with business is people. Mm-hmm. That's how you move. And that's how you grow and duplicate. And even if you're in the business you're selling, it's people. And so if you are constantly refining yourself, you're going to attract higher quality people to build a bigger business, execute faster, grow. And even if you're not on that side, if you're just a sales rep, growing and leveling yourself up. And what I mean by, if you're like to cut the fat off and go right to it, it's overcoming your demons. Like the ugliest.
Because we all have demons.
We all do.
Everybody has demons. Everybody has weaknesses. God gives us weaknesses. We turn them into strengths, as you know, right? Yeah. So who have you been mentored by to really help you work on yourself?
Tony Robbins has been big. Keaton Hoskins, The Muscle. Okay. Chris Crone. These are some men.
Let's talk about each one of them.
Yeah.
So Tony Robbins.
Yes.
Love Tony.
Yeah.
I became a client of his probably 8 months ago. First event I ever been to. Day of Destiny. I thought it was amazing.
Oh yeah.
I'm sitting there taking notes on all the deframing and the reframes and the frames, but I got so much out of it. It's amazing. What have you really learned from Tony that's really helped you a ton?
So many things. The different pillars of life. He calls it the wheel of life. I call it now the 7 pillars. And that's your physical health, emotional, mental, relationships, your time, career, mission, financial health, contribution, spirituality. Yeah. But understanding where you're weak and where you're strong. Okay. For me, I was weak in emotional health. My career, everything was doing great. Emotional health was low. But then understanding, okay, there's correlations there, but how does that correlate to your needs? Okay. If you understand the 6 human needs, I mentioned the core 4. If you understand those, you'll understand the reasons you do what you do. And so helping me so my symptom, Jeremy, for me was pornography at the time. Like that's something I was I wanted to overcome. Sure. And
a lot of men have that problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't realize that pornography was not the problem. It was I was low emotionally.
Right. So you were using that to fulfill that. The need you weren't getting from somewhere else.
Yeah. And I was craving variety, and I was craving significance in different ways from work. And then I was lacking love and connection. And so once I understood what I was lacking, I could give myself grace. And porn was just bringing high dopamine for me. Sure. And so I'm like, how can I bring other ways of healthy forms of dopamine, love and connection, and cold plunges? Not just that, but that's a lot of different things like that. Yeah. And then, so Tony Robbins was huge with that. Okay. And then Jim Rohn, who mentored Tony, I've studied him for years. Okay. So,
then you talked about this gentleman, Keaton
Hoskins,
and Chris. I've been on Chris Crone's podcast maybe about a year ago. Great guy, real estate guy.
Yes, real estate guy.
How's Chris helped you?
Chris, similar things actually with breakthrough. Less on he really taught me obviously money, finance, investing, and different vehicles of leverage. Okay. And so like part of our business model is build up Sparta to 50 million, and then I want to get into consult for equity. So instead of people paying us for coaching and mentoring, I want to build businesses kind of similar to how Hormozy is. Yeah. And so now I have an end target that's bigger, right? Okay. And so I understand what vehicle to get in. If I want to go,
Chris Lee does that. Good friend of mine, Chris Lee, sold his solar company. Now he's started next level. I'm like, dude, 7th level, next level. What's going on? You get my name. He's a stud though. So something similar like Chris is. What's your plan with your company? Like where are you wanting to go? You're getting up to this 50 million. Like where do you want to take your business?
Yeah, I want to take it to 50 million, and whether it's 50 million, 30 million, 100 million, I don't really care. I just want a large number. It's not for me to prove that I'm special. I give 2 shits about that. It's just to have a a flagship company saying, I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this. I've done it before.
Yeah.
And my other mentor was saying, Nick, you could go build a $30 million coaching business. And I said, well, if I do this, delay gratification and go build my company.
Yeah.
There's very few that have done that.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's the difference between the amateurs and people who are the biggest brands in the world, is because the amateurs that are small, like, will do something for a year or two and they'll do okay at it. And then they're just like, oh, now I'm going to be a coach and teach people how to scale their businesses to 100 million a year. It was like, well, how can you teach somebody to scale a business 100 million a year if you've never done that yourself? It doesn't make any sense. Or like somebody that sells for 1 or 2 years is now a sales trainer. Like, you're really going to teach them the ins and outs of sales after 2 years, and you were good, but you weren't like the best. Like, I had an 18-year sales career at the highest level. And even when I started this company, after 18 years of that experience, I was like, can I really do this? Yeah. You know, it's the same thing with Hormozi. He had lots of experience, sold a business, then did it. And that's why his brand's so big. Exactly. So you're doing it the right way for sure. Chris the same way.
Yeah. Credibility. So I'm going for the credibility and learning experience, and it's a journey.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing, the other big thing I learned from Tony Robbins was gratitude and giving.
Yeah.
The power of those and being selfless. And then, like I said earlier with Zig Ziglar, like helping other people get what they want.
Sure.
Like it's the most selfless thing you can do, but it's also the most selfish, because the more you do it, the more you're going to get.
Yeah, for sure.
But I've learned the secret is detach. Same thing of detachment of like, don't do it because you know you're going to get more. Do it because you genuinely want to serve that person and help them.
Yeah. 100%. Okay. So you've got this business and you know, maybe you sell this business later on or whatever. Yeah. You help other people in your company get what they want, and then maybe start a business where you help people like scale their businesses. Like in your industry or any industry, or which?
Probably any industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So where can they go to learn more about what you do?
My Instagram is Nick in Sales.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nick in Sales?
Nick letter N Sales.
Okay. So we'll put that in the show notes. And do you want them to follow you? Is there somewhere else they can go to get more information about what you do?
Just
or anything?
Follow me on IG. I've got a podcast, Rainmakers Podcast.
Okay,
you were on there a little over a year ago. Yeah,
that's good, man.
Yeah.
How's the podcast going?
It's going good.
Yeah?
It's going good.
Getting some good people on there?
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked your podcast too. Do you still have the same studio there?
Yeah.
I like that studio. Do you have your offices in that facility as well? Or? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then you're coming, I didn't even ask you, are you just like only selling in Utah, or are you selling like in other states?
Right now, only Utah, but we are expanding to Cali as we speak. Okay. And then I'm looking for the right leadership to expand what we're doing.
Yeah.
And do what we're doing is insane. Like it's one thing to say those numbers of like, hey, we'll pay out 6-7 million in commissions this year, you know, after a year and a half. And, you know, grossing over, you know, 40-50 million pacing for that. Mm-hmm. But it's doing that in a market where nobody has a team that's doing, you know, anything over 10 million a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Utah's not like really would be known as the solar market.
Yeah. And to have retention as good as we do, 82%, and then pay as good as we do, and clients that are as happy as we do, we're a unicorn. And so I'm like, just wait till we expand.
Wait till we expand.
Yeah.
But you did it smart. You didn't try to expand too fast.
Yes. Yeah. We did not. We're learning. I grow super fast. I stop. We look around, everything going good. Nothing's burning down. Okay, cool. Next. Yeah. And keep going. Same game. Look around. Are we burning down? We're good. Oh, we need to fix this. Okay. Let's get an SOP going. Let's hire the right person.
True.
And then blow up again.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And so a lot of it's going to be finding the right leader. So it's not like, oh, which state do we want to go to? Wrong question. Yeah. It's not where, it's who.
Yeah.
So finding the right leader, you know. And I'm an example of that. Like, it's not the market. Utah's a shit market, sell solar. Yeah. Truth's out.
Yeah. Well, your leadership team is the next thing that really is going to determine if you scale or not, right? Because once you get to a certain level, 30 or 40 million a year, pretty much in most industries, sometimes it depends on the industry, to get to 100 million or 250 million or whatever, you have to have people that have already helped organizations really do that.
Exactly.
Because it's a different experience level.
It is.
You have to have different exexecutives to like take you to different levels.
Yep.
You know, Todd Peterson taught me that when I was, when I came from Pinnacle to Apex to Vivint. That was one of the biggest things. I still remember him telling all of us. He's like, you know, as the company grows, you either grow with the company, like your skill level has to grow, right? If you want to move up in the company, or you know, the company gets more cash flow where they bring in people that have a higher skill level than you, because you're not really growing and you end up getting replaced.
Exactly.
But it's all your choice. You can grow with the company and grow your skill level, or you can just kind of sit and do the same thing you've always done. But, you know, the same people that have gotten you to 30 million how are they going to get you to 250 million?
Exactly.
You know, might not have the skill set
unless
they grow.
Yeah.
Unless they grow. Yeah. And that's really a choice.
Yeah.
How are you helping your people like grow? Like, are you putting in things to help them grow?
Big time.
Yeah.
Like half of my training is that of like our training courses alone. We have a whole personal development course section.
Yeah.
We have a mentorship club where every Monday we're talking about leadership, like a specific leadership. We'll have breakthrough training, like I just talked about with Tony Robbins. We do have an investor club, fitness club. And then we have accountability around all these different areas of this professional success of their money, their KPIs, their inputs. Yeah. And then we also have mentorship and then accountability around their personal life. And so it only works. Like you can just copy paste and try to bring it to your company. It won't work because most leaderships don't live like me, where I openly talk about my shit. Okay. And the beauty of doing that is it opens up other guys to talk about their shit. And that vulnerability fosters a stronger connection, which business owners, by the way, helps with retention.
Kind of bond.
But I don't do it because of that. I do it because it actually helps people change faster because the truth sets them free. Yeah. And when these guys change faster, they can promote more change in other people, whether it's recruiting, selling. There's just that different it factor, that confidence that comes. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, I'm teaching them all these skills and they work and they do. But I'm like, if I teach them who to become and how to level up personally.
Well, you're building them to the identity of the person that becomes a leader.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
That's all you're doing is you're building them. It's like the prospect. You build the prospect into the identity of the person who buys.
Yes.
You build the salesperson or the manager into the identity of the person who's a great leader.
Mm. I love
That's
that.
what you're doing. It's just, you're like I said, people do who they believe they are. Sigmund Freud. Same thing. That. The mind is a crazy thing.
It is.